Welcome, everyone, to the program. My name's Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. We're going to be live on the radio in about 60 seconds, and just tons and tons of information have come out on this MS-13 member that's in the prison in El Salvador that they've dubbed the Maryland Man. I'm going to go through a whole bunch of stories. This guy has so many crimes behind him. He is a bad dude. So I'm going to go through several articles that detail different crimes and things that he's been involved in. And the Democrats are in big trouble. They backed a bad dude. They backed a bad dude. All right, stand by. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. It is Thursday morning already. Can you believe it? The week is flying by. And I'm just going to jump right into it. You know, this MS-13 illegal that's in El Salvador, the one they call the Maryland Man, tons of information about his criminal background is coming out like crazy. I mean, it's just... And the Democrats have gotten behind a really bad dude. And I've got a few articles here that detail different situations and crimes he's been involved in. And I'm going to go through them here early on in the show. And your calls certainly are welcome. And if you're a Democrat who wants to walk back your support, it's certainly welcome. I don't care what Judge Boasberg says or any other federal judges. Federal judges do not overrule the President of the United States. He's the commander-in-chief. He's the chief executive. And some hack judge who's corrupt like Judge Boasberg ain't going to be telling President Trump how to run the country, okay? I mean, he's a guy, you know, and who even knows if he has anything on under the robe, right? But I'm just going to jump right into it because so much is going on. Now, this first article is from the New York Post. Here's the headline. Alleged MS-13 gangbanger Kilmar. What kind of name is Kilmar, by the way? I've not heard that name before. Have you guys heard that name, Kilmar? Alleged MS-13 gangbanger Kilmar Abrego Garcia's rank and street name, an MS-13, has been revealed. Listen to this. Kilmar Garcia... This is in the New York Post. And all these stories that I'm going to go through today are all on my X, Brian Craig Show on X. You can go and read them yourselves. Okay? Kilmar Garcia, the so-called Maryland Man, the alleged MS-13 gang member who was deported to El Salvador's mega prison last month, held the rank of, I don't know how to, I barely got through Spanish in high school and college. Well, I failed Spanish in high school. Barely got through it with C's in college, okay? So I'm not even going to try. But he held the rank of Chequeo and MS-13. That's CHEQUEO. And the street name Chile within the MS-13 vicious criminal organization, according to newly released documents. So all you lunatics on the left, where's the proof? Well, the judges ruled, the immigration judges, but now the documents are being released. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, Florida's own, shared additional evidence Wednesday to support President Trump's claim that Garcia is a member of the violent international MS-13 gang, which, remember, President Trump has designated a terrorist organization. After cops found him socializing with confirmed MS-13 gangbangers at a Maryland Home Depot parking lot in March 2019. Following the March 28th incident in Hyattsville, a past, proven, and reliable source told a Hyattsville City Police Department detective that Garcia is an active member of MS-13 with the Western Cliques. This is according to the gang field interview. This is, again, all in the New York Post that I'm reading from right now. The confidential source further advised that Garcia carried the rank of Chiquito and the moniker Chile, according to law enforcement reports. Officers also noted that the illegal's clothing, a Chicago Bulls hat and hoodie with rolls of money covering the eyes, ears, and mouth of the presidents on the different denominations, is indicative of Hispanic gang culture. So he's wearing gang clothing. I mean, how much do you guys need to hear? By the way, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, particularly you Democrats. 1-888-465-2631. The Bulls hat Garcia was wearing had less to do with the sports team and more about internal happenings within MS-13, according to the police report. Wearing the Chicago Bulls hat represents that they are a member in good standing with MS-13. Garcia, who had been living in the Old Line State, was shipped off with 260 other gang members to El Salvador's lockup last month over the 18th Century Aliens Enemies Act. Who cares that it's an 18th century? The Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, those are 18th century documents, right? The feds say he's part of MS-13 and was in the country illegally. Several court, and it goes on about these courts. So we're getting more and more about him. This is only one of many stories that I'm going to be sharing today. His wife, now we have the court document from the wife. The wife got a order of protection against him. We got more details on this. Nick from Baltimore tipped me off to this in his call to the program yesterday, and I talked a little bit about it, but more has come out. According to the wife, she went before a judge and said that he punched her, he scratched her, he ripped off her shirt, he grabbed her and left bruises on her body. And she had photographs and showed the bruises to the judge as evidence to get an order of protection, a restraining order from her own husband. In fact, he's not qualified to become a U.S. citizen because of his wife's charges of being a wife beater. This goes on and on. The Department of Homeland Security, this is in the gateway. If you're on hold, hang in there. After the first break, I will start going to the phones. This is in the Gateway Pundit. The Department of Homeland Security has released more documents that detail a 2021 domestic violence incident involving Kilmar Garcia, the deported MS-13 gang member to the El Salvadorian prison. Okay? Let me go down. According to the 2021 protective order against Garcia, the court found that he punched and scratched and ripped off the shirt, grabbed and bruised his wife. These are her statements. She went to the court to get the protective order against him. She's terrified of him. She says he's a wife beater. Garcia was also prohibited from contacting or attempting to contact his wife. He was forbidden from entering her residence in order to vacate the residence by the judge. He was also ordered by the judge to stay away from his mother-in-law's home. This is crazy. Kilmar Garcia has a history of violence. This is according to the Department of Homeland Security. Kilmar Garcia had a history of violence and is not the upstanding Maryland man the media has portrayed him as. According to court filings, his wife sought a domestic violence restraining order against him, saying that he punched, scratched, and ripped off her shirt, among other harm. And that, of course, is the bruising, and the documents support it. So this guy not only is a bad dude, he's incredibly violent. His wife and mother-in-law terrified of him. Apparently gave his wife a major beatdown, but there's even more that's coming out about this guy. If you don't have enough already, If you're on hold, hang in there. After the break, I'll start taking some calls. Our number's toll free, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call. Now, if you're a Democrat and you want to walk back your position, you're welcome to do that as well, because, these are things that you didn't know about. You just got in that knee-jerk, let's go against Trump. But this is a very, very violent, dangerous man, Garcia, that you all are advocating to bring back to our great country, the United States. We're going to take our first break of this Thursday morning. It's 14 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back after this. I mean, what are the Democrats thinking? Okay, now this is another one in the Tennessee Star. Whew. It's crazy. He was suspected of human trafficking by police in a traffic stop. They picked a bad one, guys. They picked a bad one. I mean, this guy is a very bad dude. But it's all coming out now. On brand for Democrats, yeah. Well, they picked a losing case. They bought their own crap. If you are new to the channel, my name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure that you subscribe, all right? You'll love this program. We're in a break at the radio station right now. And we'll be back live on the air shortly. Van Hollen's an idiot. He embarrassed himself yesterday. He looked like a fool. He looked like a fool. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll go to the phones, don't worry. Pam Bondi's doing a great job. Trump loves her. Trump trusts her, so, whoever Trump trusts, whoever Trump likes, we like and trust, right? That's the MAGA way. We'll be back in about a minute. Stand by, about 30 seconds. I'll go to the phones when we get back. Remember, all the calls are screenless, completely unvetted. You call in, I just put you on hold, and then I take you live on the air when I get to you. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. If you're just tuning in, you've missed a lot, but I'll recap through the show. This so-called Maryland man the shocking truth about him is coming out. We've got details about the beatdown he put on his wife in her own words. He punched her. He scratched her. He grabbed her. He ripped her shirt off. He left her bruised. She got a order of protection, restraining order against him. We have police reports that give his rank and gang name, his rank in MS-13. We've got details on the gang attire that he was wearing in that Home Depot parking lot, and there's more that I haven't gotten to yet about this guy. But I'll take some calls at 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Cole. I'm from New York. I really can't hear you very well, though.
Well, I can hear you. Go ahead. What's on your mind?
Okay, you're good now. All right. So just to catch me up to speed, help me out here. There's new information being released about this man, you said, or was I only caught the end of your live?
I went through it. Well, we've got a lot of things. Okay, we have.
Yeah, sorry, I've been on call for 10 minutes, so help me out. Was it the clothes we're talking about? What's the new evidence here?
Well, there's a lot of new things. First off, we have court documents and statements from his wife, who went to a judge and got a protective order, restraining order against him. She said he's a wife beater, that he punched her, grabbed her, scratched her, ripped her shirt off, and left her bruised. She was terrified, went to court. So he's a wife beater. The immigration officers who arrested him, he was arrested with other gang members from MS-13 in this Home Depot parking lot. They had a confidential informant that identified him not only as MS-13 but gave his gang rank and gang name. The Bulls attire was.
We got that. That was already known.
No, it was not known. This is new. This is new, and you said you didn't know any of this stuff. Now you know everything.
No.
You asked a question. I'm answering.
Sir.
Also,
I didn't.
Also, the police report shows that he was wearing gang attire that symbolize that he's a member of MS-13 in good standing. And there's more, but that's all I've gotten to so far. Your thoughts? You want to bring this scumbucket back to America still?
Thank you. No, I'm having a good faith conversation, so that's why I'm asking.
Oh, good faith conversation.
New evidence. So
this is all new. This is all new to the world.
No, the clothes are not new. That was already released.
No, that's not true. We have details about the clothes that we didn't have before.
Because the Bulls logo has eyes on it. I mean,
this is an MS-13 gang tag. Yes.
Excuse me. Can I have a thought more than 5 seconds? Is that okay with you?
Well, stop being condescending.
Excuse me. Can I have a thought for 5 seconds? Is that okay?
I don't know if you can have a thought. Try.
Okay. Well, I need a little bit of airtime to be able to make a point. Okay.
All right. Go ahead. Stop whining and just say something.
I would love to. Just do me a favor and shut the fuck up for 1
second. All right. There we go. First dump of the day, Mike. Oh my goodness. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to wait for the delay to re-engage. But while we're doing that, we got another story. This is from the Tennessee Star. He was stopped by the Tennessee Highway Patrol, Garcia. Okay, this is in the Tennessee Star. All these stories, by the way, I have posted to my X, Brian Craig Show on X. You can go there and read them all yourself and retweet them or whatever. The Tennessee Star reporting, Biden's FBI ordered Tennessee Highway Patrol to release the so-called Maryland man after a traffic stop in 2022, and he was stopped on the suspicion of human trafficking. This is, I'm waiting for the delay to build back up, so if you're on hold, hang in there. Now, let me pull this story up, and I'll go through the details of it, but this is a very bad man. The Tennessee Star learned yesterday that Kilmar Garcia, an alleged member of MS-13, who was deported to El Salvador, was suspected of being engaged in human trafficking by a Tennessee Highway Patrol officer who detained him in December 2022. 2, leading the Tennessee Highway Patrol to contact the FBI for guidance. Within 2 hours, the FBI requested the Highway Patrol release Garcia and the passengers in his vehicle. Highway Patrol complied with the request. The Tennessee Star learned from sources familiar with the incident that Garcia was stopped on December 6, 22. The Tennessee Highway Patrol officer responsible for the stop immediately discovered Garcia was transporting 7 passengers with 8 individuals, including himself, inside the vehicle. During a nearly 2-hour traffic stop, the Tennessee Highway Patrol officer determined that Garcia was operating the vehicle without a valid driver's license and began searching for information about him. One source told the Tennessee Star that the Tennessee Highway Patrol ultimately discovered Garcia was on a terror watch list, but could not locate him on a deportation list. Another source told the Tennessee Star the Highway Patrol did not discover Garcia on the terrorist watch list, but that another one of the 7 passengers in the vehicle may have been on a terror watch list. The Highway Patrol called the FBI, which was then led by Biden and Ray, of course. The FBI instructed the Tennessee Highway Patrol officers at the scene to capture photos of all 8 in the vehicle and document its contents. Once the photographs were captured, the source told the Tennessee Star that the FBI requested the Highway Patrol release all 8. The circumstances of the stop made the Highway Patrol officer responsible for the stop concerned that Garcia was engaged in human trafficking. But they let him go because he was told to by his superiors at the Highway Patrol. The Tennessee Star confirmed that the officer who filed the report said that the 7 individuals in the van were being transported from Texas to Maryland by Garcia. It's a misdemeanor in the state of Tennessee to operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. Anyone convicted of this Class B misdemeanor faces up to 6 months in jail. They're withholding the name of the officer to protect him, but they say he's a well-respected officer with the Tennessee Highway Patrol. He has served on several special teams. The Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security have both confirmed all of this. Okay, so now we have him in a human trafficking stop. He beats his wife, according to the wife. Tennessee Highway Patrol stops him on a human trafficking suspicion. Of course, the Biden FBI let him go. We've got his gang rank, his gang name, and he's wearing gang clothing. What more do you guys need to hear? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, good morning. This is Joan from Tampa Bay. How you doing?
All right, Joan.
You know, he already had, that he had to go back to El Salvador, like in the, 2018.
19, yeah.
20. Yeah, he went before 2 immigration judges.
That's right. He went before 2 immigration judges. Oops, I'm sorry. And you're absolutely right, Joan. He went before 2 federal. Remember, those are federal judges. He went before 2 federal immigration judges. All of this evidence that we're sharing today that were presented in their courtrooms, and they said you're out.
He already had due process back then, and they told him to get out.
Yep.
Go back home. So, period. But then he went and did more crapola. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and his wife says he beat her up. Pretty bad.
I know. Yeah, bad boy. Bad boys, bad boys. But anyway, he was sorry. He didn't have due process. He did it many years ago, and the immigration judges at that time said, you're out. But he didn't leave, so he was an overstayer as well.
And a wife beater, according to his wife, which, by the way, disqualifies him for U.S. citizenship. He would never be able to become a U.S. citizen just on that fact alone.
Right, and all we did did was bring him back home where he should have gone back in the 2019, 18, 16, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Where two immigration judges that said, no, you can't be here. You have to leave.
You're right, Joan. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call. Now, if you're on hold, hang in there. We're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. I'm waiting for the first Democrats to call in and walk back their support for this very violent, dangerous Maryland man. If you're on hold, hang in there. Our number's toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be back after this. Now, I want to tell you guys, today's sponsor on the stream is this book, The Dark Movies of the Mind, which is available free if you have Kindle Unlimited, by the way. There is a link to the book in the description of the video, and it's a really interesting book, Dark Movies of the Mind, 5 Brain Twister Tales of Beware What You Wish For is the title, and there's a link in the description of the book. It is available in Kindle, paperback, Kindle Unlimited, so if you have Kindle Unlimited, it's completely free, and it's also available in audiobook format. So order your copy and enjoy the book, and of course, you're supporting the program when you do that. So if you love movies, you'll love this. Dark Movies of the Mind. The link is in the description of the video. So look in the description, click that link, and order your copy. If you're on hold, hang in there. You know, I don't know why these liberals that call in have to use profanity. I would have talked to that guy for 10 minutes if he wouldn't have used the profanity. You cannot use profanity. I know, just classless. Well, sometimes they do it because they want me to end the call. And that's their way to get me to end the call. They're backing a wife beater, according to the man's wife. I mean, think about that. Mm-hmm. We'll be back shortly, guys. If you're new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe. President Trump is not going to let a bunch of unelected judges run this country. Not going to happen. He took an oath to protect this country from enemies foreign and domestic, and that's what he's doing. He's deporting these very bad criminals. Yeah, there's a link to the book in the description of the episode. Again, it's available in Kindle, paperback, audiobook, and if you have Kindle Unlimited, it's free because it's available in Kindle Unlimited as well. So order your copy. Again, the link is in the description of the video. Dark Movies of the Mind. Yeah, my name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. If you're new, subscribe. We're in our bottom of the hour break for the radio right now. Thirty seconds. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show. I'm going to go back to the phones. We've covered a lot. I'll recap later. But a lot of really bad criminal behavior from this so-called Maryland man has dropped in the last 12 hours, and it's pretty bad. I mean, this is a really bad guy. His own wife says he's a wife beater. But that's who the Democrats are supporting. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jeff from Maine, Brian.
Hey, Jeff.
That senator from Maryland went down to visit that guy that hit that woman's. Did you see her with Trump yesterday? He smashed her in the head with a rock, dragged her several hundred yards to a culvert, smashed her head against the culvert and killed her and raped her. And this poor mother had to hash that out. I'm sorry. Speak that out, what happened to her daughter. And this senator has the audacity to go down and try to free this man. And that should be criminal.
Have you ever seen Democrats get on planes and go to other countries to free Americans that are held in foreign countries before?
Never.
No, I haven't either.
And how that woman could say what happened to her daughter and hold it together. That woman has fortitude that senator never will have in his whole life.
Yeah, well, the Democrats are really bad dudes. I mean, this guy Garcia is really bad. I mean, first off, his wife says he beats up women. Come on. I mean, since when are Democrats advocates for wife beaters?
Because you know why? Most of the Democrats that are in the House or Senate have a lot of dirty laundry too. If it ever came out what all the money that they have a slush fund or something that hides all their sexual
that's right. Yeah, that's true.
Reports against them or whatever you call it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you call that when they accusations? They take money out of our taxpayer money to hide that.
Mm-hmm. They do.
If the truth. And I think Trump is just systematically, like you said yesterday, he's getting the low fruit first because what's going on in our government is way worse than we
That's true.
can
All right,
imagine.
Jeff, it's good to hear from you. I agree with everything you said. Jeff's calls are always very good. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. This is Joanne in Tamarack.
Yep.
I have two things to say about this Garcia guy. Number one, it's very reminiscent of what the Democrats and the media did concerning the spin on Joe Biden and his mental capacity. They did the same thing. Oh, he was doing cartwheels. He was wonderful. They're doing the same thing with this guy. And the other thing is, gee, I'm sure glad that I didn't hire him. He's standing in front of Home Depot looking for work on his off criminal hours. And some elderly couple could have hired him, brought him into their house, and who knows what he could have done.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. I'm waiting for the first Democrat. This is all new stuff that's come in. But you've seen the talking point. The first liberal, we all knew about this. No, we did not all know about this. And now we have the actual documents from police and the courts. So it's not even up for speculation. All right, appreciate the call. Very good points were made. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Brian. This is Richie.
Hey, Richie.
Let me say this. I got married to my wife, and I got married in Las Vegas in a chapel across from the city hall.
Yeah, hold on 1 second, Richie. My phones are just ringing off the hook here. I'm waiting for the first Democrat. All right, yeah, go ahead. So you got married in Vegas.
Yeah, and I think you got married, I believe, did you say you got married in church or city hall?
No, we didn't get married in a church or city hall.
Okay, but the point, but the point being, I didn't get married facing deportation in an ICE detention center behind glass.
Yes.
There's a lot, and I'm not going to defend this woman anymore because everyone is saying that she was beaten. Yeah, she was beaten, but why all of a sudden the sudden turn of events that she's praising him as father knows best.
Probably
As
because the
greatest-
Democrats are paying her money now. They're supporting her.
Exactly. I put that in your chat yesterday, and she's got a GoFundMe that's well over $200,000, and it's growing as we speak.
Yeah.
This is a money deal for her. They're lowlifes. She's a lowlife. He's a lowlife.
Well, the next thing, too, this traffic stop in Tennessee where the Highway Patrol suspected him of human trafficking, eventually the details of that report are going to come out. We're going to find out who was in this van that he was driving. Were they young women? He was driving them across the country.
Yeah, you know what you're gonna hear from Democrats. Where's the evidence?
We got it all right here.
This is so crazy that they're standing behind this guy. I love it.
Oh, it's
This shows
beautiful.
you just how screwed up they are. They are so they're deviant. Anything President Trump does, they're against him.
Oh, this is beautiful.
And just like I'm going to say, you know what else is beautiful? That Barack Obama was involved with Hillary Clinton, and they're going to go after him. Cash Patel just spilled it, showed everything unredacted that you know about that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would like to see him go to jail. You're going to say he'll never go to jail.
No one's going to put no one's going to put the first black president of the United States in jail. No one's going to attempt to do that. They should. No one's going to do it. Yeah, but I don't want to talk about Obama today. But I appreciate the call, Richie. All right, tomorrow's open phones, by the way. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Lenny from Coconut Creek.
Hey, Lenny.
How you doing?
All right.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's amazing the mentality of the left. I don't know if because all the things that you're discussing, the transparency of information that is coming out, how the radical left, these liberals walk around last year, I don't know if you remember, there was some journalist that was at the border, and he was standing there and interviewing, illegals as they were crossing over the border. And he was talking to an individual, which was later found out that he was a known terrorist on a terror watch list. And he asked him multiple times what his name was. He says, "You don't know my name." And he kept asking, "What's your name?" And he ended up saying, "You don't know what my name is, but you will know who I am." Mm-hmm. And they allowed him to just walk away, and he's in, he's in the wind as a known terrorist. And what you discussed about what this. Thank God he's where he is.
Yeah.
But traveling with 7 other known,
someone on the terror
members.
watch list, and the highway patrol officer thought that he was trafficking humans. So we're going to get more details of that will come out, and we're going to find out. Maybe it was labor, or it could have been. Who knows what it was? But we're going to get more information on why the officer thought that.
But the unfortunate thing is that with all this known information, the Biden administration, that current FBI at that time, this officer was told to. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Well, it's unfortunate, but we have law-abiding people running America now, right? Not these gangsters that have been running it. I mean, this is crazy. So when did the Democrats become the party that's advocating for the rights of wife beaters?
The worst part about it is that the left is they're advocating, pushing the violence that these individuals have been for so long, committing all these crimes and everything, and they're where they are, whether it's El Salvador or Gitmo, this is where they belong. Mm-hmm. And for the left, that first caller. I mean, it was unfortunately the first caller you had to use the expletives to call you.
He used the F word.
Something.
He told me to shut the F up. He told me to shut the F up. He said. Yeah.
Well, that just shows you the mentality of the left. And thank God, we finally have an administration of people that finally we're seeing.
That's right.
Transparency.
Well, listen, I got to run, but you're right. I agree with everything you had to say there. Our number is 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
So this is Mike from California. Hey, man. So it's Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of. What is his background, his history with sexual allegations? Do you know?
Well, first of all, it's not open phones today, but I'll comment on it. Open phones is Friday, but I'll comment on this. There was a woman who I'm going to answer your question. You asked a question, and I'm going to answer it. Okay.
So that means he's related to what, Crusaders, right?
No, because I'm going to answer your question about Pete Hegseth. Okay, but you have to stop talking. You have to stop talking. Listen, you have to. I'll hang up on you if you don't stop talking.
I mean, hang up, dude, please.
Okay, all right, I'll honor that request. There was a woman who cheated on her husband with Pete Hegseth, okay, in the hotel that her husband was in. Pete Hegseth did not know she was married. She went back to the hotel room. Her husband could tell she had sex, so she was afraid of telling her husband what she did, so she said she got sexually assaulted. They called the police. And these, was it Monterey? It was California police. They came in. Pete Hegseth was interviewed. She was interviewed. The police determined nothing happened other than consensual sex. The woman and her husband continued to push the issue, went after him civilly, and he paid her off because he was afraid of losing his job at Fox. But the police in California said it was consensual sex. He didn't know she was married, and that's that. So there you have it. That's the story. All right, we'll take our last break of the first hour and be right back. Oh. These callers like that guy there, right? He was so well aware of the real story, but he didn't want me to get that out. If you're new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe, guys, okay? Yes. Okay. Yeah. That's it. It's not going well for them. Not going well for them. We'll be back shortly, guys. I told the story. Rewind the video. Yeah, her children were, I do believe her children were in the hotel room with the husband too when she was cheating on her husband. I do believe. Mm-hmm. We'll be back in less than a minute. You know, only one person can talk at a time. The guy asked a question. He said, explain the thing, and he wouldn't let me explain it. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you're on hold, hang in there. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Callers on hold, stand by. If you've just tuned in, you've missed a lot. I will recap. Coming up, this mortgage fraud with Leticia James, I have her audio confession coming up. In just a little bit, I'm going to play it live on the air. Leticia James' confession. But first, I want to tell you about the great offer from Mike Lindell with our promo code Kane at checkout. One, the Percale bed sheets. I have these sheets. They are great. Any size, any color, just $25. Whether it's the twin or the split king, California king, queen, king, every size in between. All sets, all sizes, any colors, and there's 11 colors to choose from, just $25 with our promo code Kane at checkout. Also, Mike Lindell has a new energy drink, Rev 7. There's no caffeine and there's no sugar, and it tastes great. That's right. And without the caffeine or sugar, you don't get those jitters. You can actually, with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, get a free 3-pack so you can try out the different flavors. This is a healthy energy drink. Go to mypillow.com and order yours. You can use our promo code on all the specials at mypillow.com. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, Kane. All right, back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, once, twice, you missed your opportunity. Now, if you're on hold, hang in there. I want to share with you what I consider to be Leticia James' confession. She was accused of some hardcore crimes. We talked about them yesterday. There are documents of her mortgage fraud, including on mortgage documents claiming that her father was her husband to get better rate. Just a lot of mortgage fraud. Basically, everything she falsely accused President Trump of doing, she was actually doing and more. And she went into a panic and was speaking to a group yesterday. Listen.
My mission is clear. I'm focused. I'm prepared. I'm ready. I've been trained by the best. I went to Howard University that overturned legal segregation in this country. I've been taught in those classrooms where Thurgood Marshall once taught. I'm not afraid of no president. Donald Trump, we're ready for you. We're coming for you. We're standing up for you. We're fighting on. We're not going down silent. Victory, my friends, is clear. It's now. And I'm not waiting 4 years. I'm waiting 2 until a speaker by the name of Hakeem Jeffries comes to bring us some rest. Come on, ladies. It's up to us. We saved this democracy before. We'll save it now. Let's go.
Okay. Now, Leticia James is using a ploy that's been used in the past by guilty black people. That's the race card. Howard University, Thurgood Marshall, I went to all this stuff. She is playing the race card. To me, that sounds like a confession, right? You know, if you are accused of something you're not guilty of, you go out and challenge it. Show me the evidence. I didn't do that. You know, that one of those lunatics that called yesterday to this program, remember? He said, I have a videotape of you, Brian, with something, it was something bizarre and perverted. What did I say to him? I said, post it on Twitter, post it on X, and tag me, and I'll share it with all my followers. And why can I say that? Because I know there's no such video. I didn't start screaming at him and going on some rant. That is a woman who not only is guilty, she knows she's guilty. She's terrified because she knows there's documents of all of this. So she's playing the race card, the desperate act of a guilty liberal woman. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Bill. I'm calling from Central New York.
Okay. What's on your mind, Bill, from Central New York? Here we go.
It's just really amazing how many people on the left have just like screaming and yelling about everything that's been going on in our federal government now. And it's just unreal to me to think that they all have all these answers to fix all that's wrong with our federal government, yet why are they not throwing their hat in the ring? Why don't they like go out and run for public office?
Well,
and
the Democrat Party is an organized criminal organization, okay? And they have just been stealing from the federal government since probably World War II, maybe even before, and that's their way of life. Are you stunned? All right, appreciate the call. Yes, I mean, that's just the way of it. Now, if you're just tuning in, a whole bunch of information in detail has come out about this so-called Maryland man. And not only has a lot come out, a lot of things we have not heard have come out. And, of course, Florida's own Pam Bondi, the Attorney General of the United States, she had a press conference yesterday. And this is Pam Bondi.
He is not coming back to our country. President Bukele said he was not sending him back. That's the end of the story. If he wanted to send him back, we would give him a plane ride back. There was no situation ever where he was going to stay in this country. None. But he's from El Salvador. He's in El Salvador, and that's where the president plans on keeping him. Yeah.
Now, after the top of the hour break, I'm going to recap the details that have broken about this Maryland man, this Kilmar Garcia, and I'm going to recap all of that because it's very important. And we've already seen the talking points from we all knew all this. No, they've been saying for a while, where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? Now all the documents are coming out. We've got the evidence, and now, we had all that. We know. Don't let them tell you that. This is all new details. And we have the documents, court documents, police reports, and more. And I've been going through them all. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's your favorite caller, Brian from Philly. How you doing, Brian?
Well, I'm going to tell you this, okay? I don't mind lunatic callers and such, but you're mentally unstable. I just want to say that but I'll try to talk to you.
Okay, I'm glad about that. I actually had something I wanted to say as well, I'm sorry for how our last call went. That got out of hand. But I did want to continue that conversation, because it seems like at the end of that call, you kind of implied that certain people shouldn't get due process rights.
No, this guy, if you've been listening to the program today, this Kilmar Garcia has gotten a lot of due process. He's a bad dude with a lot. I'm going to go through it again after the top of the hour, but we got a lot of details on his crimes and a lot of evidence that were presented to the federal immigration judges. You mean you could keep repeating due process all the time, but he got his due process.
Do you think terrorists deserve due process?
Terrorists, no.
So you don't believe in the Fifth Amendment?
No, I believe in the Fifth Amendment. The due process ends at some point. There were two federal judges. He got deportation orders from two federal judges. At some point, it ends. You just don't keep going to court for the rest of your life.
No. What you do is you go to court and you get convicted. But you don't think the terrorists should get due process?
I think terrorists should be imprisoned and removed from the country. Yes. So, but it's interesting that you're admitting it's admitting this is a great call from you, which is shocking. You're admitting that he's a terrorist. So why are you supporting a wife-beating terrorist?
Why didn't they prove it in court, though?
It was his wife went to court and proved to a judge that he punched her, scratched her, bruised her, ripped her shirt off, and the judge gave her the order of protection restraining order. That was in front of a judge with the wife.
Wait, hang on. Protection orders?
It's
removed from the country?
He was given a restraining order of protection from his wife and mother-in-law that he beat the tar out of. And that was proven in front of a judge.
So if I got a protection order, I'd be removed from the country.
No, you're a U.S. citizen. You're not in the country illegally. All right, take care. Oh my God, he's trying. He's trying to sound like a coherent person. All right, 1 hour down, 2 to go. It's Thursday. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. I'm going to recap some of these stories about this so-called Maryland man after the top. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to weigh in and comment, our number's toll-free, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. My name is Brian Craig. It's The Steve Kane Show. Back after this. Hour number 2 has begun. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. I've been covering in the first hour tons of new information about this so-called Maryland man. I'll take a couple more calls and then I'm going to recap for those that missed the beginning of the first hour. But the Democrats have gotten behind a really bad man. And we're going to cover all of it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative.
Possible.
Yeah, well, I would bet as a Democrat he's spending our money to waste on this trip down there to do political. And what gets me is, doesn't anybody tell these Democrats what they're doing? Is the party is destroyed as it is? They're trying to really close it down. I mean, really, how many people are sympathetic to what they're doing? I think the majority of the Americans are saying, all right, these Democrats, forget about the Democrats.
Yeah, I agree with that, Doug. Take care. Appreciate the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
Good,
It's you.
good morning. How you doing?
All right. What's on your mind? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. How you doing? This is Maria from Florida.
Hey, Maria. What's up?
Hey, how you doing? I know I haven't been calling, but I've been listening to your show.
Great.
Yeah, I was calling because I want to talk about this Maryland man or whoever they call in the Maryland man, which is such a lie and it's a fraud. This guy abused his wife. He was illegally here. He's a terrorist. He was with the gang members. And he's saying that he was trying to run away from them. That's why he didn't want to go back where he came from. Well, that's not our problem.
That's right.
I sat and watched the press conference yesterday with a press briefing with Caroline Levitt. And this beautiful mother, my God, my heart broke for her yesterday.
Yeah.
When she explained about how her daughter got killed. My God, I could not even stand to even look at anyone in the media. They just sat there drooling and didn't even have the courage to ask her any questions.
Yeah. In fact, the media are pissed off that she's telling this story.
Yeah.
You could tell they were ticked off.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was so sad, and then for the media to sit and fly around this terrorist like he's some innocent man. What kind of sense these people have?
Yeah.
They have no sense.
Yeah. That's right.
They're disgusting.
They certainly are.
And the Democrat Party is just, I don't even know, but they could go ahead and wipe their hands because they will not be getting back in power.
Mm-hmm.
No. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
Yeah. You know, it's almost like the way the press reacted to that mom yesterday. They act as if almost these illegals are entitled to kill and rape American women.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Yeah. And they are, and I'm going to call it today, they are the enemy of America, not just America people. They're the enemy of this country, our media. They need to be shut down, taken off for air because they are so disgusting.
Yeah. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, it makes me sick to my stomach every time I hear these people run their mouth. Donald Trump doing this, Donald Trump president doing this. Don't worry about President Trump. President Trump doing an awesome job, a wonderful job.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do. And nothing you can do. You can't touch him. You can't evict him because, like I said, he is saved by God. He is saved by grace. We are saved by grace. And God chose him to do this job. This job here is what he was born to do.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right. All right. Maria in Florida, take care. I agree with everything. Now, I want to go through some of these stories that I led with. The first one, this is in the New York Post, okay? And this is about this so-called Maryland man. Alleged MS-13 gangbanger Kilmar Garcia's rank and street name have been revealed. His rank at MS-13. This is in the New York Post. Kilmar Garcia, the alleged MS-13 gang member, deported to El Salvador's prison, okay, held the rank of, and again, I know I'm mispronouncing these Spanish words, but that's okay. I only speak American Standard English, but maybe some of our Spanish speakers can translate. His MS-13 rank is Chequeo, Chequueo, and his street name is Chile within the MS-13 gang, according to newly released documents. Okay? You guys have been asking, where's the evidence that these judges deported him with? Well, this is it. And there's more than this story. This is only one. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi shared additional evidence Wednesday to support President Trump's claim that Garcia is a member of the violent international MS-13 gang. after cops found him socializing with confirmed MS-13 gangbangers. Now, who is hanging out in parking lots with MS-13 gangbangers? MS-13 gangbangers, right, that's exactly right. After cops found him socializing with confirmed MS-13 gangbangers in a Maryland Home Depot parking lot in March 2019. Following the March 28th incident in Hyattsville, a past proven and reliable source told the police detective that Garcia is an active member of MS-13 within the Western cliques. So here, so we got a reliable source. There's more. Hold on, I lost my place. Hold on. The confidential source further told police that Garcia carried the rank of Chiquillo and the moniker Chile, according to the police report. Officers also noted that the illegal's clothing, a Chicago Bulls hat and hoodie, with rolls of money covering the eyes, ears, and mouth of the presidents on the different denominations, is indicative of Hispanic gang culture. They have the police report. It's in this article. And by the way, all these stories I'm sharing are on my X, Brian Craig Show on X. You can go there and read all these stories for yourself. The meaning on the clothing represents see no evil, hear no evil, and say no evil, the police report says. The Bulls hat Garcia was wearing also had less to do with the sports team and more about internal happenings within MS-13. Wearing the Chicago Bulls hat, according to the police, represents that he is a member in good standing with MS-13. He had been living in... it goes on with some other details we already know, but that is very detailed stuff. We had the borders of this parking lot incident at Home Depot. Now we've got the details in the actual police report. And there's more, which I'll recap later as well. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, my name is Dustin.
Yeah, Justin. You're on the air, Justin. Go ahead.
I just had something to ask you. I was speaking on a chat on your YouTube channel.
Yep.
And it looks like it's deleting my.
I don't know.
text.
I don't know. Well, you're talking to me now, so say what you want to say.
Well, the ones that.
But don't use profanity.
It looked like it was getting deleted.
What? Tell me what's.
I don't know if it was by your team or if it was you.
My team. I don't know. What do you want to say that you think is being censored?
That was it.
What?
I just wanted to tell you it was getting.
Well, tell me what you were saying. Tell me what you want to get off your chest.
I watch your show every morning.
Well, tell me what you wanted to get.
I watch your show every morning. I enjoy it.
You said that you were saying something.
Little call if you watch the show.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Brain dead. He claims he's being censored, but he won't tell me what he claims is being censored. Why do you think that is? Either he's not being censored, or what he's saying is so bad that even he doesn't want to publicly say it. Oh, my goodness. Oh, boy. This is, we've heard from a lot of liberals today already. And they've all been in a different state of lunacy, if you've noticed on the program. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. Our number is 888-465-2631. Another story that broke yesterday that I shared in the first hour is out of the Tennessee Star. The Tennessee Highway Patrol pulled Garcia over in 22. He was in a car with 7 other people. The Highway Patrol in Tennessee believed he was driving without a license, which is a crime, by the way. But they believed he was involved in human trafficking. Highway Patrol contacted the Biden FBI because that's standard operating procedure. They said, let him go. They have no authority over the illegals. One of the people, by the way, in the vehicle was on the terror watch list. And the FBI said, let him go, which they did. So he's driving a car without a license. Highway Patrol officer in Tennessee believes he's involved in human trafficking. And there's somebody in the vehicle on the terror watch list. And he's a wife beater, according to his own wife. This is who you are advocating for on the left. We'll take our first break of the second hour and be right back. We'll be back shortly, guys. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. This is most definitely where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. I want to ask you a question. Do you or someone you know or love suffer from neuropathy? If you do, I don't have to tell you how bad it is. Neuropathy makes life unbearable. The symptoms are awful. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in the hands and feet, loss of balance, muscle weakness, dizziness, falling down all the time, muscle twitching. Did I already say that one? The feeling of pins and needles in the hands and feet. Maybe you have no feeling at all. Maybe you have all these symptoms. You know, your doctors, even neurologists, will tell you there's no treatment for neuropathy. Well, they're wrong. There is a treatment at Lighthouse Medical in Pompano. And not only does Lighthouse Medical in Pompano have a treatment for neuropathy, they have a treatment that works and a treatment that lasts. You know, Steve had all these neuropathy symptoms. After his first treatment the next day, the symptoms were already disappearing. Here we are over 2.5 years later, and his symptoms have not returned. No matter where you're located, Lighthouse Medical can help you. When you call, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show so you could take advantage of their no-charge consultation. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. Okay, so and another story, this monster that set Governor Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania's home on fire, now we're finding out why he did it. He supports the Palestinian terrorist. He supports Hamas and the Palestinian terrorist that rape and murder Israeli women. And because Shapiro is Jewish and supports Israel, he did it. There you have it. Think about that. Think about what's going on. Someone who agrees with, by the way, Candace Owens, because that's her position. She supports the Palestinians too. Now you're going to see that story start to evaporate from the news. You know, they saw fire, arson at a Democrat's house. They were assuming the guy was MAGA. First time I saw him, I could tell he was not MAGA. I mean, he looks like Rasputin, if you see this guy. And now we find out that he is of the left and supporting the same position as these people that are being deported from Colombia and elsewhere. There you have it. Okay? So it's pretty. That story is going to disappear from the news, even though the victim's a Democrat because of, well, he supports a liberal position. He's pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian terrorist. I tell you, what world are we in, people? Okay, so this lunatic, now we got all these stories out that this so-called Maryland man is a wife beater. He beat his wife pretty bad. The police reports from Maryland are coming out proving his gang affiliations. Tennessee Highway Patrol believed he was involved in interstate human trafficking. He was in a car that he was driving without a license with somebody on the terror watch list. This is the guy. And this moron, Senator Chris Van Hollen, went to El Salvador yesterday and made a fool out of himself.
I just landed at the airport in San Salvador a little while ago. I'm now en route into the city, looking forward to meeting with the team from the American Embassy. And
this is great. So he's meeting with the team at the U.S. Embassy in El Salvador. That would be Marco Rubio's team. Oh, that's great. You're going to get real far with them, Van Hollen.
I just landed at the airport in San Salvador a little while ago. I'm now en route into the city, looking forward to meeting with the team from the American Embassy. And I do want to thank our Foreign Service officers and the whole team at this embassy and embassies around the world for all the good work they do on behalf of our country. I'm proud to co-chair the bipartisan Foreign Service
What
caucus
an idiot.
that stands up for the men and women who are serving our country overseas and at home in the State Department. After that, I hope to meet with some high-level government officials from El Salvador. As I've said before, the goal of my visit is to talk to people here about the release of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. I told his wife and his family I would do everything possible to bring him home, and we're going to keep working at this until we're successful. I also hope to have the chance to meet with him, but we'll have a better idea if that works out a little later on.
Okay, now Van Hollen, of course, was not allowed to meet with the officials, and his wife, remember, said that he punched her, scratched her, shoved her, ripped her shirt off, left her bruised, and went to a judge to get a restraining order against him because she was terrified of him. That's who Van Hollen wants to bring back to his wife. He's down in El Salvador trying to bring a wife beater back into the home with his wife where she got the restraining order. That doesn't sound very safe, Van Hollen. It sounds quite dangerous, in fact. Then Van Hollen, if that humiliation weren't enough, he had this bizarre press conference with the Hispanic media. Did you see this? He's standing outside somewhere because El Salvador won't meet with him. He's surrounded by Hispanic media, so there's some translation going on. And he looks even dumber than the first time.
This is an unsustainable and unjust moment, so it cannot continue this way.
Oh my goodness. This is so pathetic.
I also told his wife and family that I would try to meet with Mr. Abrego Garcia while I was here.
So now they're translating what he's saying in Spanish. This guy's an idiot. Maybe they'll nominate him for
So
president.
I asked the vice president if I could meet with Mr. Abrego Garcia.
The vice president of El Salvador, not J.D. Vance. Oh, this is beautiful.
And he said, well, you need to make earlier provisions to go visit CCOT.
They didn't let him in the prison. They wouldn't meet with him.
I said, I'm not interested at this moment in taking a tour of CCOT. I just want to meet with Mr. Abrego Garcia.
Uh-huh. Good luck, jerk. Okay, enough of that. I mean, he just made a fool out of himself. Now, the most all the information that's coming out of him about Garcia is damning, but nothing's more damning than the wife going to court with her bruised body. Okay, and he really beat her bad, beat her pretty bad. This is going downhill, and it's going downhill quick for the Democrats. But can they pivot away from it? I don't think they will. I think they're so married to the story that they can't get themselves to break away from it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air.
Hi. Helen from Massachusetts.
Hey, Helen.
Is this guy up for re-election?
At some point, I don't know when. I mean, in 2 years, maybe. I don't know when he's up for re-election. But
usually when they're up for re-election, they decide that they're going to do something that they believe is heroic. But I wish this guy would have been arrested. I wish the president of El Salvador would have arrested this guy's butt once he showed up. How dare he think that he can go to a foreign country and make demands and try to create chaos.
And start a prison riot, which is what he wanted to do.
Absolutely.
Now let me ask you, when did Democrats start defending wife beaters?
They've always been that way. I live in a blue state. It's disgusting. And they're the biggest racists.
Yeah. Yeah.
And liars. I mean, I used to see it since I was a kid. They're closet racists and liars.
Well, yeah, but now all this information in the last 24 hours has not only come out, we're getting court documents and police reports. And it's getting worse all the time. This news story developing out of Tennessee that he was driving a car without a license with somebody in the car on the terror watch list, and the Highway Patrol thought he was involved in human trafficking. We're going to get more details on that and find out who the police thought he was trafficking in the car. Was it women for sex? slavery? Was it? Who knows? It was something.
Probably. It wouldn't surprise me if they had, terrorists in there too.
Yeah.
I remember that. I have family in Tennessee.
Yeah.
I remember when, and it was covered in the local paper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They let them go.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate the call. Yeah, if you're on hold, hang in there. I want to tell you about the free doorbell camera offer at Sloman's, and we got a new phone number for Sloman's, which I'm going to give you today, okay? So get out something to write with and write down the new number for Sloman's free doorbell camera offer, which I'm going to give you in a moment. Now, Sloman's, they're going to give you a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your cell phone. It's amazing. It, of course, is a great addition to your home security system. You get a notification on your cell phone every time there's movement at your door, no matter where you are. Are you at the grocery store? Are you at Walmart? Are you indisposed in the bathroom? Wherever you are, you get a notification on your cell phone. You can see who's there. It's great. Now, you'll get that free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. But that's not all. Sloman's, they're also going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. You get an LED touchscreen, a motion detector, 10 contacts, a lifetime warranty, and a backup battery. Plus, you'll receive a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Give them a call, toll-free, 283-5050. That's the new number. Okay, got to write down this new number. 1-833-283-5050. 1-833-283-5050. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll be right back. Hey. Okay, hold on. Okay, you there, Steve?
Yes, I am.
All right, hold on.
Are you there?
Yeah, hold on. Just give me a second. Okay, you there?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, 1 second, Steve. Hold on. All right, Steve, you there?
I'm here.
Okay. 10 seconds. We are back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here, and the wheels are coming off the bus for the Democrats with this illegal in the El Salvador prison. But let's take some calls, Steve. I'm looking for a Democrat with all this.
Well, I had something I wanted to share. If
Okay.
that's okay. I've been sitting contemplating this all night as I've been trying to go to sleep. And this is what I've come up with. I've tried to boil it down to its essence. And this is what is the essence as I see it. The Democrats are FUBAR. Do you know what FUBAR is?
Yes, we can't say that on the radio.
Well, we can say FUBAR on the radio.
Yeah, you can say FUBAR. Google it, guys, if you don't know what it means.
Well, and also you can say effed up beyond recognition.
Yes, you can say that if you want to.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, that conveys where the Democrats stand right now. And everything is focused for both parties on the midterms. Because if things don't change, and of course what's going to change for the Democrats is they have to take over control in the next election of either the House or the Senate. If things remain like they are now, the Dems are finished.
Well, they may be able to win an election at a prison council because they're advocating for criminals so much, but advocating for wife beater. Yeah, that's right. All right, well let's. You want to take some calls, or what do you want? What do you want?
Okay, you can do that. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, let's go. Let's take a call or two.
Get my thoughts in.
Yeah, sure. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Once.
Hello, Brian.
You just.
Are you there?
You just made it.
Hello.
Yeah, you're on the air.
Oh, sorry, Vanessa in Pensacola. I wanted to let you know, as of 9 hours ago, they've raised $197,000 on a GoFundMe for Garcia. What's he going to do with that in an El Salvador prison?
Well, his wife will find a use for it, I'm sure.
You know, I just thought, wow, what? Let's send that kind of money to the boy that was stabbed to death. But
well, why do you think the wife is she doesn't want him out of that prison? She went to a judge and got an order of protection restraining order because he beat the tar out of her. Now she's got all the money coming in. She's won the lottery.
By the way, that's yesterday's story. It's over.
No.
That whole episode is finished.
No, we got a bunch of news. We got some new details on it because we've got the documents from the court now. And the wife.
Well, it came out yesterday.
Yeah, we were talking about it yesterday, but we got the documents from the court now. So the wife doesn't want him. You know, I know that the Democrats are trying to bring this wife beater back to the home that the wife got the restraining order from. But
Don't worry, the Democrats have David Hogg is on the scene.
Oh, David.
So he's getting ready to take over for the Democrats, so you have nothing to worry about.
And by the way, could someone tell Martha McCallum on Fox that David Hogg is not a survivor from the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas god-awful incident? He was not even in the building where the shooting happened when it happened. It was the building for the ninth graders, okay? So, you know.
But he must admit David Hogg is perfect for the Democrats.
Oh, yeah, he's perfect, yeah. He's going to help us. He wants to primary Democrats out of office, so he's going to help us defeat Democrats. All right, caller, appreciate the call. You know, we got a bunch of new stories about the guy, okay? We've got the court record from the wife beating incident, and we got details we didn't have yesterday. She went to a judge, he punched her, he scratched her, he shoved her, he ripped her shirt off, and he bruised her body.
He's a nice guy.
Now, yes. New York Post has a story today. It's their lead story in the New York Post. Pam Bondi has released quite a bit of information about him. And the New York Post, we got his gang rank with MS-13. We've got his gang name, his MS-13 rank. I don't know. I know I'm mispronouncing this, and I don't know what the word means. Chequeo, Chequueo. That's his MS-13 rank. Okay. His MS-13 street name is Chile. Okay. And we have details on when he was arrested in the Home Depot parking lot in Hyattsville, in Maryland. Okay. A detective said Garcia is an active member with MS-13, according to their confidential informants, who said that he's with the MS-13 Western Cliques. Okay, so this is all new information that we've gotten about him. The confidential source, who, by the way, has a record of accuracy with law enforcement, advised the police that Garcia held the rank of Chequeo and the street name of Chile. Police officers in the report noted his clothing, a Chicago Bulls hat and hoodie, with rolls of money covering the eyes, ears, and mouth of the presidents on different denominations, is indicative of Hispanic gang culture. And by the way, all these reports are available in the New York Post. The New York Post has published the police reports. Okay. The meaning on the clothing, according to the police, and this is the police gang unit, so they have an expertise in this, means see no evil, hear no evil, and say no evil. The Bulls hat that he was wearing, okay, is about MS-13, and it symbolizes that he's a member in good standing with MS-13.
He's a charmer, all right. There's no question of that.
Yeah, and then the third news story is from the Tennessee Highway Patrol, who stopped him in 2022. They were ordered to let him go by the Biden FBI. He was driving a car in Tennessee across the country without a license. There were 7 people in the car. One of them was on the terror watch list. That's why the feds got involved. And the highway patrol officer believed that Garcia was involved in human trafficking. But the Biden FBI, who took command over the case because of the one person in the van that Garcia was driving is on the terror watch list, ordered the highway patrol to let them go. Now, so far as the human trafficking, we don't know if it was labor slavery or sex slavery he was involved in, but he was involved in human trafficking across state lines. So this guy is, he's a soldier in MS-13, right? I mean, he's not like the leader like that guy they got a couple weeks ago. He's a foot soldier in MS-13. And oh yeah, according to his wife, he beats his wife pretty bad. So they have gotten behind as bad of a person as you can get behind. And there's
you don't think the story has run its course yet today?
No. All these things, including the human trafficking, this is new stuff today, this morning. No, it has not run its course. This story is only beginning. In fact, last night, James Carville said that the Democrats have to stick with this story, that they're deep into it, and you can't make a pivot to economic issues. So he said, stick with this story, and they're going to continue to fight for this wife beater and human trafficker.
James Carville has finally blown a gasket. I guess he's out of it. That's bad advice.
All the Democrats.
Good advice for us. Bad advice for the Democrats.
All the Democrats have blown a gasket. And the liberals that have called this morning, the first one, when I went through these stories, his response was profanity that we had to hang up and dump. And that was his out. He didn't even have an attempt at a response to these stories. And what the next development's going to be, we're going to get the police report from the Tennessee Highway Patrol. We're going to find out who was in the car on the terror watch list, right? And who was he trafficking? You know, we're going to get more details on that. And other Democrats are still planning on going to El Salvador to try to meet with him and the president down there. So no, the Democrats are amping this up, even as the stories pile up.
Well, it's possible because they always make bad choices, so they may stick with this losing subjects for them. but it is a loser. And the quicker they get off it, the better off they'll be. But I agree with you. They're not likely to realize that reality.
No, and that's why this story is just beginning. Because yesterday, Homeland Security and the Tennessee Highway, they started releasing the documents. We got the documents from the court record with the wife beating incident. Homeland Security released the information from the parking lot incident with the gang police, okay? The Tennessee media are just beginning to report on this human trafficking story in Tennessee from a couple years ago. So, and this has only just begun. I mean, how many run-ins has this guy had from the law or with the law? It seems like a lot. And it's amazing to me, no matter how many run-ins he has with the law, he's not in jail. Well, he's in jail now, but he wasn't in jail. He was allowed to roam free in America and wasn't deported. And, defending.
Well, they caught up with them. The other big thing, the two things you got to keep your eye on is to deal with the big picture. One is, of course, what we're talking about, which is the immigration thing, which I think Trump is going to lick now. I'm going to give him that issue. I think their Democrats are in too deep to recover on that shot. And the other one is, with the second one, which is of at least equal importance, which we haven't seen what's going to happen yet. The proof of the pudding is coming up. It has to do with the economy.
Yeah.
Because, I'm starting to get wise to how Trump operates. He's working behind the scenes on this economy, getting everything in order, and then when everything is in order, he's going to pull one of these days where they break all the news stories about what's going on with the economy and all the countries he's signed up, and that's going to nail down the midterms.
That's right. Now, listen, we're going to take our last break of the second hour. I'm going to put you on hold, Steve. If you'd like to call in, please do. 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll start taking some calls after the break. Later this morning, I have a follow-up meeting with my coach over at Coastal Weight Loss Secret, and they're going to ask me the big question today. Do I want to continue to lose weight, or do I want to maintain where I'm at? And right now, as my pants are falling off my body, I'm not sure yet. I'll decide when I have the appointment later this morning, but I'm leaning towards maintaining. My goal was to lose 25 pounds. I've lost over 30. I've dropped I don't know how many pant sizes. I'm ready to go out and shop for some new pants this weekend. It's amazing. I mean, I'm wearing clothes that I bought in the 1990s. I've lost so much weight. It is true. I keep things in the back of the closet, and I'm glad I do, or I wouldn't have any pants to wear whatsoever. And even my 90s pants are loose on me. I weigh about what I weighed when I got married, and this year's my 29th wedding anniversary. That's amazing. Give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call. It works. And you guys know I'm not taking any medications, no Ozempic, I'm not exercising, and I'm eating foods that I would normally eat. When you call, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the True Oldies channel, all right? 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightloss.secret.com. We'll be right back. Hey, Barry, it's Brian. Hey, Barry. Oh, do you want to do it? Yeah, it's okay. No, okay. We'll cover for you. All right, take care. Are you there, Steve?
I am here.
All right, stand by. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve is here. You back with us, Steve?
I am.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yes.
We've got a full board of calls, and we have to cover for Attorney Barry Siegel today. I just called Barry, and he's in Times Square, and Times Square. It's very loud, and so I could barely hear him. He could barely hear me. But I said, enjoy Times Square, Attorney Barry Siegel. We'll cover for you. We meant Barry Siegel because you had a revocable living trust that was done years before with another attorney, and it was basically a trust in name only. It was almost useless. Barry reviewed your trust, which he'll review any of your, if you already have a trust, he'll review it at the Siegel Law Group at no charge. Your trustee was dead. There were a bunch of divorces and remarriages in your trust, so the wrong people were going to inherit things. There were grandkids that weren't included because they had not been born yet. They would have been cut out of everything. But Barry got everything in order, and he did an incredible job. And remember, it's always a no-charge consultation with the Siegel Law Group if you mention the Steve Kane Show. I'm going to give you the number. And remember, the Siegel Law Group can help you no matter where you are located in the state of Florida. 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. That's 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Steve, we got a full board of calls. You want to take some of these?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, now those of you that are new to the program, all of our calls are screenless, completely unvetted. When you call in, we just put you on hold, and then when I say to you, you're on the air, what's your name, where you're calling from, that's the first time anybody hears you. And you can tell that the calls are completely unvetted and screenless based on the lack of quality of some of them. But that's the price we pay for spontaneity. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up? John. I'm in California, San Diego.
Hey, John.
Hey, John.
I gotta say, you have amazing folding music. Top tier. It's really good.
Glad you enjoyed it. What's up?
Where are you guys at?
Where are we at? What are you, high? I mean, listen, you called us. Do you have something to say that's relevant or not? I'm going to move on. I'm bored with you.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Well, wait. Don't be
talking about
nasty to our
I'm
guest.
waking him up out of his stupor.
Go ahead, sir. What do you got for us?
Usually, I don't know, you guys ask a question, but
We've been on the air for an hour and 45 minutes talking about a whole bunch of issues. Have you been listening?
Yeah, I heard you talking about the people sent to El Salvador.
I'm going to ask you, what kind of, okay, you say we usually ask questions. I got a question. What kind of weed do you smoke?
I don't smoke weed anymore.
Anymore. So what I'm hearing is just long-term damage.
Breakfast.
Yeah, right. When's the last time you got high?
5 months ago.
5 months ago. You sound kind of high now. I think you have some permanent damage.
We're 30 here in the morning.
Mm-hmm. So we're talking. Okay. I mean, you've been listening. If you want to, I'll move on. We got a full board of calls.
I get it. You don't want to talk about issues. I get it.
All right. Take care, San Diego. Oh my goodness, Steve, that's brutal. I'm almost embarrassed for us. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. My name's Will from Ohio.
Hey, Will.
Hey, Will from Ohio.
So I guess you got yourself a Democrat on the line because you said you wanted one a couple minutes back.
All right.
I'm calling in about obviously the Abrego Garcia case.
The wife beater.
Well, I mean, you can say that.
Well, his wife says it. His wife said it to a court.
Sure, but his wife.
Well, you're not taking issue with
that.
That
she wants him back.
Excuse me, my liberal friend. Give me your first name again. I apologize. What is your name?
It's Will.
Will from Ohio.
Will. Okay, Will. You're not taking issue with the fact that he beat his wife, are you?
No. I'm actually.
All right,
if
so
that was
we
my
agree.
sister, I'd
So
say get out of that situation.
Where do we disagree?
Well, I mean, first of all, let me read a quote that she said when she was asked about this. She said, "Things did not escalate. I decided not to follow through with the civil court process. We were able to work things through the situation privately as a family, including going to counseling. Our marriage only grew stronger in the years that followed. No one is perfect and no marriage is perfect."
Do you think she's embarrassed that all this stuff came out? She's got to say something, right?
That's for her to decide.
Listen,
Well,
what she told the court was he punched her, he scratched her, he shoved her, he ripped her shirt off and bruised her body.
And what she decided
and
was
I don't agree with any of that. I don't agree with any of that. My issue truly is a constitutional issue. I have an issue with the lack of due process in this case.
He got due process. He got due process. He went to, excuse me, I went through the whole story. He went to 2 federal immigration judges. They deported him.
Correct.
The due process ends at some point. You don't go to judges forever and ever and go around a merry-go-round of judges until doomsday.
The way that works, the way the immigration court works, is when someone is brought in and someone claims that they are a criminal,
hang on, Brian.
It then falls on the person. One second. Let me just get
Hold
through
on.
It falls
One
on the
second.
person.
Will, hang on 1 second. I want to take a moment here. You obviously know what you're talking about. So you're a member of you're part of the legal system?
Oh, yeah. Good question.
What is your... Tell me.
Well, no,
Share
but
with us your
are either of you a member of the legal system?
What's your...
What are your guys' credentials?
I didn't claim to be.
I didn't claim to be either. We're all just reading articles online, man. Like,
No, we're not reading. No, that's not. That's not what we're doing. We're reading documents. We're reading documents released by police and the Attorney General of the United States and courts.
Right.
He's a wife beater. Tennessee said he's a human trafficker, and he's also, by the way, driving around the country with someone on the terror watch list, according to the Tennessee Highway Patrol.
And if he's such a bad guy, and it's so easy to prove that he's a bad guy, why don't we just bring him back, put him in a trial, and get this over with?
He's already been to the courts.
He's not.
He hasn't been on trial.
We don't have jurisdiction.
The due process.
He was processed. So you got a guy who's a human trafficker, a wife beater.
You don't know he's a human trafficker.
Yes, the Tennessee Highway Patrol. The Tennessee Highway Patrol.
Police report.
Yeah.
And if it's true, get him out of here. If it's true, get him out of here. I want him out of here. He's a human trafficker.
Will, let me explain to Brian. Will, you don't understand what Brian is saying. He doesn't understand. He thinks this guy is a winner. This guy, if your sister brought this guy. Yeah, you're sticking up for
I never said that.
Yeah, you're sticking up for a wife beater.
I'm sticking up for true due process under the law.
He has been processed.
If we follow this logic... Wait, Brian, 1 second. Let me just get a full sentence out, please. If we follow this logic, I could say that I have some random confidential informant that says that you're a wife beater, and then we can deport you to
No, that's first off, I'm a U.S. citizen. Second of all, the police in Maryland were the special gang unit of the police department. They had a reliable, confidential source inside MS-13 that has given them other information that has been used to prosecute others.
Will may not know this.
And Brian,
you know he's not a U.S. citizen. You know that, right?
Yes, I do know that. He came here because when he was 16.
So what are his rights?
He came here when he was 16.
No rights.
And he applied for asylum because he said he was escaping gang violence.
All right, let me ask you: Are you a millennial?
No.
What are you, Gen Z?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. We got a soy boy on the line, Steve.
I wouldn't say so. I mean, if that's what you want to believe, I guess you can believe that.
Yeah.
But I guess my whole concern right now is we now have this leaked audio and video of Trump saying, make 5 more prisons in El Salvador. We're going to send homegrown.
Let me ask you this, Will. What is your thought on transgendered people in women's sports?
I truly think it's not that big of a deal.
It's not that big.
I don't really
oh,
care.
so when
transgender
transgender boxers beat up women in the Olympics, you don't think that's a problem?
How many transgender athletes do you think are in the NCAA?
There were two transgender boxers in the Olympics that beat the tar out of women and were given medals for doing it.
Wait. Answer my question. How many transgender athletes are in the NCAA?
I don't know how many athletes are in the NCAA, but I bring this up because there's something about. Excuse me. No, I'm not done. There's something about you that supports men who beat up women, whether it's Garcia or these boxers.
Men that beat up women.
Sure, you're supporting Garcia and you're supporting Garcia and the boxers in the Olympics.
Brian, I do mixed martial arts. First of all, there was no proof that
you
the
do
woman
mixed martial
that won
arts.
That medal was trans. I do mixed martial arts. Yes.
Okay.
I do MMA.
You do MMA?
I understand.
Do you fight? Do you beat up women? Do you go in the ring with women?
No.
Why not?
I do spar women.
You spar women?
I spar with them.
So you hit women?
Yes, that's.
Steve. There we got Steve. He does mixed martial arts and hits women. No wonder he's relating to this guy.
You're in the mixed martial arts.
I'm trying to talk about substantive issues right now, and you're doing some weird stuff.
See, speaking of somebody in the mixed martial arts, how do you account for the tremendous support that the AMA has received from Trump has received from the AMA? Certainly seems to be a hero in those circles.
That's okay. People can have
That's
their own
okay.
opinion.
Will, how many, when you hit women in fights, in MMA, do you use your feet or your hands? How do you hit the women you fight, you spar with?
I like doing grappling, and I also do Muay Thai.
I don't know what, but
do
you when you hit these women, is it with your hands or your feet?
Well, first of all, you don't go full force in sparring with anyone. It's a light
yeah, but you're still
activity.
hitting. You're still striking, even though it's not full force and there's padding. Do you use your hand and
This
feet?
is a really weird angle you're taking.
Well, you're supporting a wife beater, and now we find out why you hit women.
I think you understand mixed martial arts and how normal it is to have.
All right, appreciate the call. Oh my goodness, see, got to the bottom of that, didn't we? I mean, that was some detective work. I mean, who would have thought? I've never struck a woman with my hands, feet, or any other part of my body. But I'm surprised he confessed that. He spars with women?
Well, he's a Democrat. What do you expect?
You know, these local martial arts guys that take karate at the local karate studio, if they got into a ring with one of these women boxers, they'd get the tar beat out of them. All right. Steve, it's time for the top of the hour break already. I almost missed it.
Oh. All right.
Okay, listen, we're going to take our break for the top of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name's Brian Craig. Callers on hold, stand by. That was some call. I'll give him credit for his honesty. Our number's toll free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're listening. There is one opening on the board, and those of you on hold, stand by. We will go to the phones after the top of the hour break. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane's here. This is Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. We'll be back right after this. Steve, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, hold on. Oh, my goodness. That was some call. I can't believe we got that.
Yes, it was.
Oh, my gosh. He spars with women.
You know what we ought to do?
Well, remember, everybody can hear you on YouTube.
That's good. I'm going to say this on the air when we get back. I think when we get liberals calling in, we ought to take them one at a time. In other words, it's not a good look when we double team them.
All right.
And it'd be more fun, I think, if we took them on one-on-one.
Okay. All right. I don't think we've ever pulled something out of a call like that before. I mean, my goodness, that was... What are the odds that he fights women? I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, they don't have they have a screw loose.
Oh my goodness. I wouldn't fight a woman. I wouldn't spar with a woman. Oh my goodness. I wouldn't spar with anybody. I'd probably get whooped, but...
I was gonna say.
But I wouldn't do it with a woman for sure. Oh my goodness.
It's just incredible how out of touch with reality these people are.
Well, that's what they've done to guys. I mean, could you... I mean, I've never heard a man talk about, yeah, I fight women. It's just sparring, though. I just tune them up a little bit. Oh, okay. I mean, who does that?
Liberals.
Yeah. Crazy.
They don't even understand how bad they look.
No, he thinks we look stupid. He thinks we look bad.
Exactly.
I mean, I knew he was going to support the transgender sports, but I didn't think he would say that he fights women.
Wait till you see gold prices today.
No. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Okay, Steve, you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, hold on. All right, we got a full board of calls. We're back in 1 minute. Jeez. Did you hear the update I had on the guy that lit the governor's mansion on fire?
No, I didn't hear it.
Oh, he supports the Palestinian terrorist Hamas. He
oh, that's right. Well, I saw that. I did see the story.
He did it because he's a Jew. He's he supports the liberal position, pro-Hamas. He's a Hamas guy. All right, here we go. Welcome back, everyone. Hour number 3 has begun. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. Oh, man, that was some call. We got a full board of calls, Steve. You want to go to the phones? What do you want to do?
Do it.
All right, let's see. Let's find out what we got here. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Well, 2 in a row. Jay from Jersey.
Go ahead, Jay.
Well, you can double team me. I'm pretty sure as soon as I say what I say, y'all are going to get upset, but I'm going to say it anyway. You're talking about how this guy is such a criminal and he beat his wife and all this, that, and the other, right? But when I look at your buddy there on YouTube, he's wearing a convicted felon's on his T-shirt. But that doesn't bother y'all. You don't bother you that he's been a convicted felon 37 times. He's been convicted of rape. He cheated on his wife, and when it went public with everybody, with multiple women. But that doesn't bother you.
Doesn't bother the majority of Americans.
Doesn't seem to bother you, but this guy seems to bother you.
That's why we got elected. That's why we got elected, and that bothers you.
That's right. That's right. We put a convicted felon in the White House. His wife got everyone talking about her because her husband cheated on her, but that doesn't matter, right?
You know what I'm confused about, Steve. Hold on, Jay. I want to talk to Jay. I want to talk to Steve for a second. This is
$87 million.
Hey, calm down, Jay. I'm going to talk to Steve. Okay, for a second. I'm confused what this has to do with this wife beater in El Salvador, Steve. And by the way, his wife's the one who said that he beat her up. I don't understand.
That was, 6 years ago?
Oh,
Six
okay.
years ago, they had a fight.
I don't think it was 6 years ago, but how long ago?
It was 2019. You said it yesterday.
That's when he was first ordered deported. He married his wife when he was awaiting deportation. So no, but so if somebody beats their wife 6 years ago, that's okay. Okay, that's interesting. So you can beat your wife, and then after 6 years, it's okay. What's going on with these Democrats?
Obviously, the thing about what the problem is? The problem is they made up. They stayed together, but you have a problem with it when she doesn't.
We don't know that they're together. I know that she's collecting hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I think the last thing she wants is to share it with the guy that beats her up.
I'm pretty sure they were living together, got kids together, and she has forgiven him. Just like you said, she went to counseling.
Did she?
And all this and the other. So that doesn't matter.
Maybe she's afraid because he's a gang member. Maybe she's afraid because she's afraid, perhaps.
She stayed with him.
Okay.
She stayed with him.
All right, Jay. I don't know if there's anywhere to go with this guy,
I
Steve.
knew you couldn't answer my question.
No, all right. Appreciate the call. We answered all your questions.
Answer this. Get off the phone.
Yes, that's the way to go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, my name is Mac, and I'm from Massachusetts.
Mac's a knife.
Okay.
How's it going?
All right.
Start with me.
You want me to start?
Yeah, you're on the air. You called us. What's on your mind?
Yeah, so I think you're having trouble making a coherent point here about the nature of why this deportation is a problem.
Go ahead.
Okay, so are you familiar with the 14th Amendment?
Go ahead and make your point.
Okay, specifically in the 14th Amendment, it uses language that is very specific. It outlines citizens as well as saying specifically, the state shall not deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process.
He's had his due
alluding
process.
to.
He's had his
He had due process in relation to this deportation?
Yes.
How is a past case that was never actually fully brought before a court due process in regard to a deportation order to a foreign nation
Oh, my goodness.
going to a gulag that we as taxpayers are paying for? How is that
You know what I think they're
relevant
doing?
due process?
Steve, I think they're giving out our phone number at the Rachel Maddow fan club meeting. But, listen, he went
So
to,
we're
he went,
gonna
excuse
resort
me.
to ad hominem style?
I didn't know it was insulting to be a fan of Rachel Maddow, but okay. Here's the thing. 2 federal judges, immigration judges, said you're out. President Trump signed an executive order declaring MS-13 a terrorist organization. Okay? The judges determined that this wife beater is a member of MS-13, which means he's a member of a terrorist organization. When you're a member of a terrorist organization, whether it's MS-13, ISIS, or Al-Qaeda, there's a different standard that applies to you as opposed to just a regular criminal, okay? And you're subject to immediate deportation if you're a terrorist. That's like calling Muhammad Atta, he was the lead 9/11 hijacker, a Florida man, calling this guy a Maryland man. So this guy got his due process and a whole bunch more.
So what's your next point, sir?
Sorry, can I speak?
We're waiting.
But do you have something to say? That's the question.
Yes, there has been a case already, all right? Civil action number 825-CV00951,
Oh, my
which
goodness.
was an order in 2019 that specifically stated that he was not to be deported
Okay.
back to El
Okay.
Salvador.
Now,
due
what was that? What
to-
was
so
that
there
case again? What was that
actually
case number again? Tell me that again.
Civil action number 825-CV00951, PX.
Yeah, I'm reading from the talking points. What about
I actually do research
excuse
and
me.
understand the nature of
What about code 8675309? Have you read that one? 867.
That's very funny.
Yeah, it is very funny, isn't it? Yeah. Listen, he's a member of a terrorist organization. When you're a member of a terrorist organization, you're no longer in the realm of the regular criminal justice system. you're in a whole nother realm and you're subject to immediate deportation. These are things.
You know that, sir.
Yeah.
Right?
So is there no obligation to prove that he is part of a terrorist organization through actual proceedings?
Yes. Yes, the immigration judges determine that.
Case number.
I don't list case. We don't list case numbers or case law.
What I'm hearing is that you do not understand.
No, we understand. We understand. You're just another. You're just another. You're just another college boy who thinks you're smarter than everyone else.
I actually haven't gone to college, but I have read the case.
Then how did your mind? Then how did your mind get so warped? If you what do you want to? I mean, where did you get this bizarre thinking?
Again, to add ominous. This is what people do when they are not educated enough to talk on the subject matter.
The judges.
They have to refer
you just said you're not educated. You just said you're not educated.
I have educated myself. Education does not require a formal degree.
Listen.
You can educate yourself on the subject matter by reading and immersing yourself and understanding the material.
Brian, slow down. This guy is interesting. What do you do for a living, sir?
I'm not going to talk about. We're here to talk about.
He's embarrassed.
That I am refuting.
Explain to me what you're ashamed of. Why are you not willing to answer? You know what I do for a living? I do this for a living. I do a talk show. They pay me my sponsors.
That's great. I do online debate with people who are not actually familiar with the material that they're talking about.
That's your job? That's your job?
That's not, but this is something that I do. I am passionate about it because I see so many people who are speaking about things that they do not have the requisite information on to speak in any educated manner, just like you.
You know,
you can laugh, but you actually do not have any understanding.
Listen here, and then we got to run to a break, and you can go back to your Twitch streaming in a minute, okay? But here's the.
This guy obviously is a college graduate.
Yeah, he said he's not. He's no education. Here's the deal, caller. Okay, in the past, 2 federal immigration judges heard evidence and declared that he was MS-13. That was a couple years ago. President Trump is coming. We don't have case. We don't have. It is all right. Thank you for your call. I can't talk to these people that just repeat the same thing. Then President Trump declared that MS-13 is a terrorist organization. When you're a member of a terrorist organization, ISIS, Al Qaeda, Hamas, MS-13, Trinidad de Agua, you're not subject to normal criminal laws. This is what the Patriot Act determined after 9/11. There's a whole nother standard, and you are immediately subject to deportation. Even if you're a U.S. citizen and you're a member of a terrorist organization, you could be taken to a black site anywhere in the world, okay? And that's the way it is. And you could sit around and say case law and throw a bunch of fancy numbers and think you sound smart, but you sound like a dummy who's supporting a wife beater. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll take our break and be back. But first, I want to tell everyone about Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain treatment. I was telling you guys last week, one of our listeners on our cruise, Gary, he goes on all our cruises. He was telling me he had arthritis in his neck. That sounds like it really sucks, doesn't it? Arthritis in your neck. I've never known anyone with an arthritic neck. But you know what? I don't know anyone with an arthritic neck because Gary is no longer suffering from arthritis pain in his neck because Dr. Philip Appleton rid him of that with his laser away pain treatment. Dr. Appleton's laser away pain treatment works. There's no shots, no injections. I know shots and injections are the same thing, but I want to emphasize it. No drugs, no downtime. It's 100% painless. In fact, you don't even feel it when it's happening. And the best part is, it works. Living with pain is not a part of growing older. Stop suffering. Go see Dr. Appleton and say bye-bye to your pain. Appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. We'll be right back. You there, Steve?
I sure am.
These liberal callers are just nuts. They're insane.
Wonderful.
Yeah, they're nuts, though. They're all insane.
They're somewhat removed from reality, that's for sure. The last caller, the answer to the question I asked him, which was, how does he make a living? The answer is he doesn't.
Yeah, he's a bum. It's a bum. He says he calls
talk shows for a living.
Yeah, that's called being a bum. He calls that a job. Oh, my goodness. I wonder if that's what he tells his mommy.
I used to do that before I worked as a talk show host. I worked for nothing, calling talk shows and not getting paid.
Yeah.
And then people decided that what I had to say was worth listening to, and then I started making a living at it. He hasn't reached that point.
No. Oh, my goodness. All right, hold on. Let me answer some of these calls. Okay. All right, you there, Steve?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. If you're on hold, hang in there. Oh, hold on. Okay. Are you there, Steve?
Yes, I am.
Full board. No, these are great calls. Very instructive.
Yep.
I'm surprised how many people are supporting a wife beater. And maybe she took him back because he's in this terrorist organization and she's terrified. And I'm not even sure she took him back. I know.
She's codependent.
Maybe she didn't take him back. But battered women bring back the beaters all the time. It's part of the...
Of course.
Okay, 30 seconds. The Supreme Court can't rule to bring a foreigner back from their home country that's in a prison in another country. They don't have that authority. They're the Supreme Court of the United States, not El Salvador. Oh, my goodness.
They don't have jurisdiction.
No, it's so stupid. All right, here we go. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. You know, in our chat room during the break, someone said the Supreme Court ruled to bring the guy back. The Supreme Court is the Supreme Court of the United States, not the Supreme Court of El Salvador. And the United States Supreme Court has no authority to order the president of El Salvador to release a terrorist from their Supermax prison and send him back to the home in Maryland where he beat his wife at. I know there's the Supreme Court of the land, but not of the world, just this land. And even then, they don't have authority over the president of the United States. You know what surprises me is how many men, Steve, have called this show today in defense of a man who beats women. You know, when I was growing up, men were defenders of women and didn't have much use for women who beat men, or men who beat women. And this thing that they say that she took him back, I'm not so sure about that. I don't know if that's true or not. But even if she did, it's very common for battered women to bring the abuser back into the home, isn't it?
Of course. Of course.
Yeah. Oh, my.
She's codependent.
Yeah.
That's the profile.
All right. Well, let's see if we can find some liberal men that don't support the beating of women. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Bruce from Lake Worth.
Hey, Lake Worth.
Hey. 2 points. First of all, the 14th Amendment was one of the slave amendments, and it granted due process to freed slaves.
Yes.
And unless this guy is 200 years old, he's not a freed slave. And the other point I want to make is that, you know, Georgie Porgy Stephanopoulos had to pay $8 million to Trump for calling him a convicted rapist. Mm-hmm. And you know, guys like Jay from Jersey might want to grasp that, because you know there's no reason why lawyers from Trump could come and start listening to all these people and just start suing.
Let me. How long have you been listening to the show today, caller?
I I have been. I've been listening on and off because I had things I had to do, so I couldn't listen.
There's things more important than listening to this program. Shame on you. You know, we've heard from a lot. I want to hear you, as a casual listener to the program this morning, what are your thoughts on these men that are calling up, supporting a man who beats women, including the one guy who spars in MMA fights and hits and kicks women? What's happened to men?
It's amazing. It really is. I mean, these are just. I keep using the term insane, but there really isn't a term hard enough or deep enough to describe these people.
Yeah, it's disturbing.
It really is. You know, it really is. I mean, it used to. It used to be that we would protect women, and most of us do. I hope.
Yeah.
But there are those now that couldn't care less about protecting a woman.
Obviously so. And I'm not so sure that this woman wants her wife beating husband back. If he,
That's right.
All this money that she's raising in the crowdfunding, do you think he'll,
exactly.
if he comes back, he's going to take that money from her?
Right. And not only that, there's a reason why he is in jail in El Salvador. It's not because he's an innocent bystander of some sort. He is a gang member, and they know who he is.
I wonder what the other prisoners would think if they found out he's a wife beater, because those guys, they've got girlfriends and wives, and I don't think they respect wife beaters. Hey, appreciate the call from Lake Worth. All right. I got it. It's nice to hear from a man in our audience that defends women against those who beat them. This is just, there's certain things, there's very few taboos left in society. But I thought beating up women was one of the taboos, but it looks like the left have eroded that one too, Steve.
It would appear so.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Our number, by the way, is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. If you're on hold, stand by. This is what I was telling you. The Democrats, they can't admit they were wrong. So they're quadrupling down with some very bizarre positions. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Go ahead.
Bob Jupiter.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, that mixed martial art guy, that mixed gender martial arts, what's that all about?
I mean, my goodness. If I went to a local mixed martial arts studio and they had men hitting and kicking women, I'd be appalled. I'd be out of there. I mean, that's crazy.
Must be a real tough gym.
Yeah, a soy boy gym.
So here we are with Trump now. Whether you agree with me or not, but don't you think these guys have been checked, rechecked, triple checked, quadruple checked? They knew exactly who would be on the plane. Trump is suckering these guys. He knows everything about these guys. He knows everything because nothing's come out about it. Well, this guy's been in the country for a long time. What kind of job? Did he ever have a job? Did he ever pay taxes?
Yes. According to the Tennessee Highway Patrol, it was human trafficking across state lines.
So Trump knows all this stuff, or Trump's people know this stuff. They're just letting the Democrats go to El Salvador and hang out and do all these things to make them look even worse.
No, you're right. They're digging. They're letting them dig their own hole, and then they sprinkle out some information.
Yeah, this is all coming out very slowly, but I would be shocked if these guys weren't vetted. So because of course they're going to look for something. Everybody knows that they went on the plane looking for something, some guy that's innocently charged.
Listen, any man, I don't have tolerance for any man that lays hands on a woman. A lot of conservatives are big. I don't know. They're in love with that Andrew Tate guy from Europe. I want nothing to do with that guy, Andrew Tate. He flew to Florida a few weeks ago. I could have gone to meet him at the airport. I didn't want anything to do with him because there's been serious allegations, true or not, by women. I don't respect men that abuse women. And the soy boy the Democrats have gotten themselves in a position they're defending a wife beater. And I never thought I'd see the day. I mean, this is bizarro world we're in. These were the people running the country.
Having lived in a foreign country, I wish more Americans could experience that, because as an American, if you live in a foreign country, if you don't toe the line, all these processes that we get here, that we're afforded here, it's not returned back to us. That's for sure.
That's for sure. All right, take care. Thanks for the call. Making some sense from Jupiter. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Brian. Good morning, Steve and Brian. This is Dave in Virginia.
Hey, David.
Hey, I was just wondering, this guy, he should have been deported in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I believe, didn't he have tattoos on his body for MS-13?
I haven't seen anything in the reports about gang tats. You have?
His tats.
Yeah. No, he's MS-13. He's a soldier for them.
Yeah.
He's not a leader. He's a do-boy. Well, he used to be. Now he's a prisoner.
Right. Yeah. Okay, I just wondered. Virginia, we're known for something else now. We got two of the dumbest senators in the U.S. history.
Not the dumb. Yeah. Yeah. This is the last caller made such a good point. He said that Trump's let these Democrats dig their own hole, and now they're starting to release the information out about this guy. These Democrats.
Right.
I mean, have any of them read The Art of the Deal? I mean, Trump plays these people like a fiddle.
They read anything.
Trump's operation is incredibly. He's got great research. He's got surrounded by great minds, and he listens to people, and he evaluates. He's not full of ego. Interesting to say, because his detractors would like to tell you that he's an insufferable. He has a complex, a superiority complex, and all this stuff. He's not. He's very humble, very decent kind of guy, and he is sharp as hell and knows who to pick to work for him.
That's right. Well, listen.
Every day is like a little play.
Yep.
Yesterday, the play was about these gangs, and it's a one-day story, and he wins every day.
Yeah.
That's right. Listen, we got to run for a bottom of the hour break, but I appreciate the call. All right, I'm going to put you on hold, Steve. The rest of you on hold, stand by. We'll be right back. All right, you there, Steve?
I'm here.
All right. All celebrities have ghostwriters, okay? Not just Trump. They all have ghostwriters. Any celebrity book you've ever read was written by a ghostwriter. Are you there, Steve?
Yes.
Yeah. Thirty seconds. All right. You there, Steve?
I'm here.
All right.
I got a thought if you
Okay.
got time.
All right. If you're on hold, hang in there. We are back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. Callers on hold. Stand by. You had somewhere you wanted to go, Steve?
Well, I wanted to just point out, I've learned through this whole experience never to underestimate Donald Trump. This machine that he runs is so tight and so creative. They know what they're doing. For example, a lot of people, in fact, I hear the experts, the commentators sometimes say, well, why doesn't he just give us one example, close one country, get the tariff set, and that'll take all the pressure off? You hear a lot of people talk that way. That's not how Donald operates. I realized that was my first reaction, too. It would take a lot of the pressure off just to close one good one like Japan.
Yeah.
Well, that's not how he's going to do it. What he's going to do is he's going to close a bunch of these things, not going to announce them at the time, and then he's going to pick a day when all his people will be out there on Fox all day long, and they will have a whole presentation.
Like 45 agreements, right? Or something.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly. And when you learn you learn not to second guess Donald Trump. Believe me, he's smarter than all of us.
You're right on the money. I never thought about that. I think that's exactly right. Now, I have some breaking news about this Garcia. Okay, this is new. This is in the Daily Mail. Listen to this. It's worse than we thought, Steve. In 2021, in a petition for protection from domestic violence filled out by Garcia's wife, Jennifer, states that he beat his wife multiple times over the years. In November 2020, he hit his wife with his work boots. In August 2020, he hit her in the eye, giving her a black eye. That same day, he started driving quickly, scaring his wife as the 1-year-old was in the back seat. There's a recording where you can hear him yelling, driving extremely fast. Later that day, she left the home they shared after being afraid to be close to him. Then in May 2021, after an argument at a gas station, he punched her and scratched her, leaving her bleeding at the gas station. There's photos of this. And by the way, this is on top of the one where he punched, scratched her, shoved her, ripped her shirt off, and left her bruised. So we've got 4 incidents, black eyes, beat her to a pulp where there's blood, beating her in public at the gas station. I mean, this guy, he's a serial wife beater. Oh my goodness. It's getting worse by the minute. Holy smokes, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Tom from Elmira.
Hey, Tom. Where's Elmira? What state is that?
That's New York.
Oh, okay. What's up?
Where the prison is, I think.
Oh.
So I think the problem that you guys have is that this guy wasn't given due process.
Back to that. Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't. He was grabbed up off the street, and he was sentenced to really a life sentence For what crime?
They all have the same talking point.
Yeah, let me repeat the same thing I said 10,000 times to this seminar
what
caller.
crime did he commit that deserves a life sentence?
He is a member. Okay,
that's the whole
this is
problem with
okay.
this.
Slow down. I know you're in New York. I know you're in New York, but you got to have some sense. Okay, here's the deal.
I voted for Trump.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. It did us so well. We in New York. Here's the thing. Okay. 2 federal immigration judges determined that he was MS-13 a few years ago. When one of Trump's executive orders that he signed here in his second term is designating MS-13, which the federal courts proved that he was proven that he's a member of, is a terrorist.
Which judges?
I don't know the names of the judges. Okay.
You should know.
I should know. Well, you should get out of New York, okay? We don't need to know.
Excuse me, sir. Do you know the name of the judges?
Of him being in MS-13.
Sir, take a breath. Do you know the name of the judges?
I don't, because he hasn't been named as MS-13.
Okay, now listen.
So,
now,
because they don't
oh
exist.
My goodness. MS-13 doesn't exist? MS-13 doesn't exist?
No, him being a member and the judge saying that
oh my
does
goodness.
not exist.
You're in New York, okay? The most read newspaper in New York is the New York Post. The lead story in the New York Post today details everything that proved he's an MS-13 member.
Okay, well, you just read it, so what's the name of the judge?
They don't give the names of the judges, dummy, okay? Those talking points aren't going to work. We don't need the names. So, but let me finish my thought. 2 federal immigration judges, this is being widely reported, determine he's a member of MS-13. Now that Trump, through executive order, declared them a terrorist organization, you're no longer in the criminal courts. Terrorist, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, MS-13, Trinidad y Agua, they're subject to immediate deportation or to be held in black sites by the CIA worldwide. This is what the Patriot Act gave us after 9/11. So the process is over. He's been processed.
The only person that said he was MS-13 was an anonymous informant.
No, that's not true. Okay, let me. Can I read to the Steve? Can I read the New York Post article again, Steve? I mean, not for this idiot, but to the listeners.
All over Google just
searched over Google. Okay, searched all over Google. Now I'm pulling up the story in the New York Post. Let me read this story from the New York Post. Okay.
You don't need to read it.
Yeah, I know you don't want us to, but we're going to.
Put him on hold. And he's given a life sentence.
Garcia, okay, the alleged MS-13 gang member, they have to say that for legal reasons, okay? Pam Bondi has shared new evidence about him. Cops found him socialized. This is from police reports. Cops found, and this was the gang unit of the local police who know, they're the experts on their local gangs. Cops found him socializing with confirmed MS-13 gangbangers. Do you know who socializes with MS-13 gangbangers, caller?
Let me guess. MS-13 members?
Yeah, that's right. That's correct. In a Maryland Home Depot parking lot in March 2019. Following the incident in Hyatt. Now you're excuse me. We're going to do this with We're going to do this with or without you. Following the March 28th incident in Hyattsville, a past proven and reliable source to police told the police detective that Garcia is an active member of MS-13 with the Western Cliques. Okay? It goes on. This is in today's New York Post that I'm reading from. The confidential source said Garcia carried the rank of Chiquito, and his street name is Chile. Officers noted that Garcia's clothing, a Chicago Bulls hat and hoodie with rolls of money covering the eyes, ears, and mouth of the presidents, is an indicative. Well, not everybody's been listening since 6. Is indicative of Hispanic gang culture. They have the original police reports. The meaning on the clothing, according to the police, is see no evil, hear no evil, and say no evil. The Bulls hat Garcia, the Bulls hat Garcia was wearing is a sign that he is in good standing with MS-13 as a member. That's front page story in the New York Post.
He's a Bulls fan.
Not with all the MS-13 alteration. There's MS-13.
There's no specific tattoos
oh my goodness.
or clothing.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you something. Are you straight?
Yes.
Extremely. Why? What would be wrong with being gay?
I have no problem being gay.
Oh, well, you said extremely. You said extremely straight. Okay, I don't know what that means.
Are you hitting on me now or something?
Well, no, I'm trying to find out why you're supporting wife beaters. And I thought maybe you got a thing for bad boys.
I'm not supporting this guy.
Yes, you are.
Supporting the Constitution.
Well, you're not.
The Constitution says
that
everyone,
due process.
whether a U.S. citizen or not,
he's been processed.
Deserves due process.
He's a terrorist. Terrorists are no longer in the criminal courts. Yes, it does.
Matter.
Are you familiar with the Patriot Act?
Okay. If he's a terrorist, then he would go through the courts.
No,
right?
You don't go through the criminal courts when you're at Al Qaeda, ISIS. Yeah. No, what court have you seen ISIS in?
Where's the evidence?
Where's the evidence? I share you the evidence, and you say, "Where's the evidence?" Oh my goodness, Steve, I can't. I mean, these talking points they have are just giving me a headache. You know, I got a big decision to make today. And
What's that?
Well, later this morning, I'm meeting with Coastal Weight Loss Secret, and they're going to ask me this question. Do I want to continue to lose weight? I've lost over 30 pounds. Or do I want to just maintain my current weight? I got to make that decision today, and I don't know what I'm going to do. But I do know this. Coastal Weight Loss Secret works. I have dropped so many pant sizes. I've completely lost my stomach. I have the body I had when I was 20 or 21 years old. I've done all of this with zero exercise, eating foods I would normally eat, and I'm not taking any drugs like Ozempic. It works. If you want to lose weight, whether it's 20 pounds, 40 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, or more, Coastal Weight Loss Secret can help. And it's absolutely amazing. I haven't been hungry. I'm not starving. In fact, those of you that listen, since I started with Coastal Weight Loss Secret, you know, you never hear me say in the morning, I'm starving. I used to always say I was starving. Not anymore. And the transformation I've seen in my body, in my face, in my neck, in my arms, even in my hands, is amazing. I've lost so much weight, and you can too. I'm going to give you their number. When you call Coastal Weight Loss Secret, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the True Oldies channel. Their number is 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightloss.com. All right, we'll take our last break of the day. I'm going to put you on hold, Steve, and we'll be right back. Hey there. Hold on, William. Okay. Steve, you there? Steve? Hey, hold on. Steve, you there?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm here.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to conference in.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to conference in William. Okay, William, stand by. We're not back quite yet.
Okay.
Okay. 8 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. It's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking today?
Metals are looking amazing after yesterday's amazing day. Gold gaining yesterday $112.50. Trading in a range from $32.95 all the way up to $3,344.
Holy smokes.
And closing out the day near the highs at $3,341.60 the ounce. That was up $112.50, Brian.
Wow. That's crazy.
Silver up 46 cents at $32.74. Platinum gained $8 at $9.66, and palladium was off $4 at $9.56. The markets overnight trading in a range of 33.21 on the low for gold and a high of 33.36. And right now we're at 33.24. That's down $17.60, which we would certainly expect after yesterday's $112 gain, a small amount of profit taking. And that's what we've been seeing on these markets. We see major gains, then we see a very small pullback, and then sometimes before the day's over, up higher even before the day's over. So you got to buy any kind of dips if you have the opportunity. Silver down 28 cents right now at $32.45 the ounce. Platinum down $9 at $9.57, and palladium down $24 at $9.32. So the market is still gold still leading the markets, and no end in sight at this time.
Now, you were telling us the other day, I mean, gold's flying off the shelves in ounce sizes and larger. But for a lot of people that may not have enough for an ounce or more, can you tell them about fractional gold? Because there's really gold for almost every budget.
Yes, there is. We have fractional bar sizes as small as 1 gram, going up to 1 ounce sizes, and then we have the all of the major coin products, which produce 1/10 ounce, quarter ounce, half ounce, and 1 ounce gold sizes. So there's something for everybody and every budget, and we have it in stock, of course, for immediate delivery.
Absolutely. Listen, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. Give him a call, 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010, or stop in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. And you can find William Youngerman's address and phone number on his website, williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll touch base tomorrow.
Okay, and just reminding everybody also, if you're taking a trip, we have our foreign exchange department that covers over 60 different currencies from around the world.
Absolutely. And by the way, whenever I'm over there, I see people come from far away for that currency exchange. And also, if you have some old bills from other countries, gather and dust at home, you can turn those into dollars or the metals too, right?
Yep.
All
yes,
right.
Indeed.
All right. Take care, William. We'll finish out the week tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Well, when we do the gold report, Steve, I feel like I'm starting to feel like Ed McMahon back in the Jerry Lewis telethons. What's the board like? It's crazy.
I've never seen anything like it.
It's really surreal. Really, it is, isn't it? I mean, Trump's back in his second term and gold's through the roof. Now, our number is 888-465-2631. I mean, what's your thoughts, Steve, on all these callers that they have this one talking point that they think is so brilliant? Due process.
They all sound like the same call. It's you can tell that the seminar callers are right in force today.
Yeah, the seminar callers. Yeah, I mean, they are. It does sound like the same script. It's like
they all have the same arguments. They all sound like each other.
They do. Yeah, and if you call that an argument, but the due process was done. I'm sorry to tell you guys. But they need to get some updated talking points. But I do consider it an honor that the Democrats think this show is worthy of being basically rated by their seminar callers. They're really targeting our show, which shows you the importance and significance of this broadcast, that the DNC is spending so much effort trying to target this audience and try to turn them in favor of this wife beater. But now we find out that he beat her at home, at the gas station, in the car. There's like 4 incidents of him beating her literally bloody, and hitting her, and hitting her in the head with the work boots. I wonder if that work boots, don't they have steel toes in them? I mean, that's like
Let's hope not.
Oh my goodness. I hope it was just a a cowboy boot or something. But no, that's this is a bad man. This is a bad man. And as the hours go, we find out that he's exactly where he belongs. He is really literally at home, not just in El Salvador, but he's with his peers in this Supermax prison. And, they can have all their talking points. Well, name the judge. When have you ever heard somebody say name a judge before? That's a weak one. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, Eddie from Homestead.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Hey, Ed.
I didn't know there were white guys in Homestead. Are you white?
I am white.
Wow.
So I look at all the time and energy and effort put in gangbanger that was deported, and they keep talking about due process. And just think about the millions upon millions of people that aren't gangbangers that are here illegally, the amount of effort it will take, the impossible amount of effort it would take to give each and every one of them due process.
Well, that's what they want to do, tie up the system forever. Cloward and Piven,
Exactly.
Cloward and Piven strategy. Overwhelm the system so it collapses.
We're gonna give them due process. It's just going to be the due process of wherever country they're in.
Exactly. Yes. He's El Salvadorian. What makes that gentleman think he's going to spend his entire life in prison? Unless, in El Salvador, they believe he should be.
Yeah.
Right? He's obvious. Yeah. So we didn't give him the life sentence. He's created that for himself.
I think our Supreme Court really has recognized that.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's their call.
Yeah. That's right.
But the whole thing is the whole idea is to tie up our system so nothing ever gets done.
Well, it's getting done. That's the problem. See, this is why Trump declared MS-13 and Trinidad y Agua terrorist organizations. So you bypass the normal legal system. All right, appreciate the call from Homestead. All right. Let's see here. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Carl from Columbus.
Hey, Carl.
Carl.
Hey, good morning. Hey, these Democrats, they love to say that the wife of this guy got back together with him and changed her mind. But they don't consider the fact that the cartel was probably breathing down her neck and made her do it.
If she did it, we don't even know that that's true. By the way, even though they're saying it.
Yeah, but I mean, even if she did, I mean, she was probably being threatened. Like you just change your story and let him off the hook because if not, then.
The thing about Steve and I were talking earlier. Women that are victims of spousal abuse. I mean, he beat her literally bloody, hit her in the head with the work boot, beat her in a gas station, ripped her shirt off, bruised her at home, punched her at home. These abused women often go back to their abusers. It becomes a cycle.
Yeah, and he's never going to change either. So,
No, Father of the Year.
Wanting him to come back is just crazy. I mean, you think he's like, all you have to do is watch like a couple episodes of Breaking Bad, and you know what you're dealing with,
Yes, exactly right. There's the twins from Mexico. That's what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And did you watch Breaking Bad, Steve?
Yes.
You don't sound like a fan.
Great.
Oh no.
Great series. Oh, I loved it.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I've watched that. I've watched that whole series like 3 or 4 times. And the last season of Better Call Saul is amazing. And if you've ever seen that movie they made, El Camino, you got to see El Camino. It's incredible.
I saw that.
Oh, have you seen El Camino, Steve?
No.
Oh, it's about what happens to his young partner. Oh, you got to see it. It's a movie. El Camino. Yeah, you get to see what happened to Jesse, and it is a beautiful movie. But anyway, you're exactly right, though. What are your thoughts on all these Democrat men that are calling in favor of this wife beater today, including one man who says he's an MMA fighter who fights women? What's going on? I mean, because I'm sure in Columbus, Ohio, you guys are defenders of women against men who hit them.
These guys are just I think the Democrats, the only men that are Democrats are the ones that have been kind of feminized.
Yes.
And real men aren't Democrats anymore.
That's true. That's true.
They're gone, and they're never getting them back either.
No, real men are back. Real men are back. That's Trump. Trump. It really shows you how much influence the president of the United States has and how it can change the people. Because Joe and Hunter Biden are abusers of women, and that's had an influence on our culture, sadly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're choosing. The Democrats are just choosing the wrong side of every issue just to be against Trump.
Well, remember what Senator Kennedy said.
You got to give them consistent.
Yeah, remember Senator Kennedy. Senator Kennedy was asked, "What's the Republican strategy against AOC?" He said, "Operation Let Her Speak," and that's what we got to do with these Democrats. This is Operation Let Democrats Speak. Right to midterm victory.
I mean, if you want to win, Trump learned that you just take the 80% because that's usually what's right anyway. Because
Trump is
overall the American people are good people.
When you really make an art of studying Trump, Trump is the one who he pulls the strings to create the 80-20
Yeah, that's right.
relationship on these issues.
Well, listen, we got to run. We're running out of time. Columbus, Ohio. Thank you for the call. Real quick, Steve. Mike Lindell has a new energy drink. It's called Rev 7. No caffeine, no sugar, so you don't get the jitters. With our promo code Kane at checkout, KANE, you can get an introductory 3-pack for free, so you can sample the different flavors. Good deal, huh? With our promo code Kane at checkout at mypillow.com. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879, promo code Kane, Kane. All right, we're out of time. We'll see you tomorrow morning, Open Phone Friday. Oh, man. Great calls today. I got to tell you, just incredible calls today on the show. If you're new, make sure that you subscribe, guys, okay? If you don't mind, subscribe to the program. And if you're already subscribed, do me the favor of liking the video, all right? My name is Brian Craig. Remember, tomorrow is Open Phones. We call it Open Mega Mic Friday. And on tomorrow's show, you can call in about any and everything on your mind, okay? That's Friday show only. The other 4 days of the week, we try to wrangle you to talk about the topics that Steve and I bring up. But Friday, the show prep is up to you guys. So tomorrow is your day. Thanks for watching, everyone. My name's Brian Craig. I'll see you next time. Take care.